What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Two Couch Talk.
Yeah.
Let's go. We made it through episode 1. We're here on episode 2, and we got a banger one for you today. I hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that shit. We'll be making these videos every week on Thursday. We'll be releasing them.
Yep.
If you didn't catch the first episode, I'll just quickly recap how this thing works. So we do 2 controversial topics, one each, and then just one other topic that we want to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
No matter what it is, what topic, it's, you know, whatever's off the top of our heads.
Yep.
We have 10 minutes to talk about each topic, and then we each get an extra 5 minutes.
That
we're only once an episode.
Absolutely.
So if you want to use your 5 minutes, you have to make sure that it's on the topic that you want. Like, it's important. You can only get one. So
use it wisely.
Exactly. So I'm Mannche. I'll be your host for today.
Hey.
I go by Mannche or Jared. Some of you may know me.
Yep. Look him up.
And then I'm joined by my other host, GaVinci Raw, aka Eli.
Hey.
And yeah, we'll be your host for today. I hope you guys enjoy. You know, sit back, grab a drink, grab some popcorn, or just, you know, go work out, listen to our podcast, and we'll try to be entertaining for you guys.
Have fun.
Exactly.
Have fun, ladies and gentlemen. Talk. Conversate. That's the whole point of the show. It's talk.
You got that right. All right. So I guess I'll start it off with my first controversial topic. And my controversial topic for today is going to be
drum roll, yeah.
Global warming.
Global warming. Ooh.
Global warming.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just got muddy.
Yup.
Global warming.
Global warming.
Okay, shit.
It's a big GW.
Jesus. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get muddy. All right, so we're going to start the timer. We got 10 minutes. And once the timer is over, we cannot talk no more, at least about the topic. Unless we use our Fiverr, which we're only allowed to use once per episode. So let's begin. Holy shit.
Yeah, you didn't see that one coming.
No, I did not see that. That's a good one.
Uh-huh.
All right, so global warming. Oh, my God. Oh, shit. How do I begin? See, ladies and gentlemen, we are not allowed to discuss any of these topics before we start discussing them. So my reaction is 100% real. I had no idea he was going to drop down on me.
Yep.
So,
and I don't know what his topic is going to be. Neither of them. We don't discuss this prior. We just we drop it on each other and just
make it happen.
Yeah.
So the magic you're seeing is 100% realistic.
Exactly.
All right. So global warming. All right. So for the Earth's sake, I hope that it's not true. Just being optimistic in the sense that I hope that it's not true and that everything's going to work out. But realistically speaking, realist that I am, I know that there is different. Just due to when I was a kid to now, you could feel the intensity of the sun and how much it burns your damn skin when you go outside and go into the sun. I you know, all the things that they showed, like visually, like satellite pictures, everything from above, the angles of how the Earth looks now compared to, let's say, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. In which case, 30, I mean, I would be a baby then, but it's still like obvious that there's been changing, especially climate change, especially like I would say the past 5 years and how radically cold it's been for like the East Coast and the Midwest, which isn't uncommon. Don't get me wrong. For those who are watching out there in the East Coast, I get it. It's always cold over there. Everyone I've met from over there who told me it's cold. You don't want to deal with the cold. That's why they move out here.
Yep.
It's worse now. From what they've told me, they said that the freezes that they're getting now is abnormal to the point where you're actually unable to go outside for 5 to 10 weeks. 5 to 10 days. So a week and some days. That just seems odd, you know, especially for us being humans in this world like that. This seems really weird. And then they're saying a lot of animals gone extinct because they're being forced to push down into our, you know, I hate to say it this way, but it's our land, you know, where we're at, where the humans are at, where they can't really stay in the preserves or where the natural habitat is because it's gotten so hot for them, and there's no food for certain creatures, certain animals. So I hate to admit it, but yeah, I think it is true. The question that I would like to throw your way though is, how long do you think it's going to really be before it affects us humans? Because I mean, it has affected us somewhat, but really affect us kind of like how it has the animals.
Well,
do you think it's real or not?
yes, I do.
Okay.
I absolutely think it's real. I think if we're going like, okay, I don't know if I could put a number on when it would seriously affect us to the point where we'd have to start like
Thinking about leaving Earth or something like that.
Mass like migration basically, and like moving more and more people to a like centralized location, or like a better location, a more suitable habitable location. But I know that.
Do you think if that was a situation, we would have to physically leave Earth?
If we had the resource, if we had the ability to, I think we would have already. But
you think so? You think we would have by now?
I think. I mean, you got to understand how like expensive space travel is and shit.
Yeah.
Like, but I know I've heard from a bunch of people in like articles and stuff that scientists are saying we have about 12 years to start reversing the like how we live our lives and like what we use on a daily basis to stop this global warming from getting any worse. Because if we keep up this same pattern and keep using the same resources and pollution and all that stuff, we have about 12 years before it's irreversible.
So at this point, from what they're saying, we can actually possibly reverse it and fix it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we got 12 years.
12 years to actually be able to fix it. So do you think, and I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but do you think the companies who are clearly the ones that are causing this more to happen, more so than just your atypical one person out in the world, do you think their greediness can be subsided so they'll allow this to happen? Don't get mad, ladies and gentlemen, but this is truth. I know you want to say yes.
I want to,
but
if I'm being honest here, we're gonna have to go with a no on that one.
Yeah, same here. Deep down inside, I want them to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But I feel that the money dictates them so much.
Yep.
That is unfeasible. I mean, in reality, like to them, it's like they'd rather see the world burn and to get destroyed and be filthy rich than, all right, we lose a few million here, or let me say that a few million. They'll still make billions. They'll just lose a few million, and they'd rather not lose that few million.
Yep.
Than to potentially save the fucking Earth.
Exactly.
Excuse me for cursing, but that's the truth. It's like,
or like if you've seen pictures of the Amazon rainforest from even like early 1990s to now.
Yeah.
It's like
it's a desolate.
It literally looks like a different like planet. Like you took a picture of a different place. It does not look the same at all. And like that's oxygen right there. Like people understand that oxygen comes from plants and shit, but like I don't think they really get that if we took away all the plant life, or at least a majority of the plant life, we would not have enough oxygen to survive.
Yeah.
That's facts.
So if that was the situation where companies will not stop or cease what they're doing, would it have to be a situation where us people would actually have to come up and like uprise and stop these people to prevent them from making this happen? I mean, because I know there's rules and regulations set by the government and those type of, but we go to a third world country where they don't give a damn about what anyone says. They have so much money and power, they don't care. They're not going to stop. And even the ones here in America, they're not really going to stop per se, because even the regulations aren't 100% to the point where it's like, oh, let's save Earth. No, it's more like, all right, this is kind of polluting, so let's give you this type of regulation to help prevent that. Mm-hmm. And I know we're going to get flack and people are going to say, well, no, I work for the company. I know how it is. Well, then there'd be more companies who are doing this to change it already.
Yeah, and I do think that we've improved a little bit in terms of like people doing less.
Yeah.
But at this point, like it's pretty bad.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
And me as an individual, I feel like we can do stuff, but to a limited capacity. Whereas these big, humongous corporations, these humongous monsters, they're the ones who are going to make the biggest impact because they're the ones who are making the biggest impact negatively right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So if they were to step in and actually start doing something now, there'd be, I mean, hell, why not? Why not be the one to say, yeah, our company is the one who helped save Earth? Can you imagine the publicity they would get for that?
They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
But they don't want that. They just care about their money right here and right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's getting pretty bad out there. And I mean, everybody can feel it. Like if you look at pictures of Antarctica, the polar ice cap, or Antarctica or the North Pole, the ice caps are melting. If the ice caps melt I think if the sea level rises like 1 more inch or some shit like that, like beaches and like coast or shorelines will be like flooded and people will start moving inland because there's so much water trapped in those icebergs that are up in the poles, up and down in the poles, that if those melted, like a lot of land would be covered, like more than people realize. And we already are kind of cramped in certain states for real estate because people just keep building up. But it's like, if you can't live in those areas anymore, and you're trying to move everybody into a more centralized location, there's going to be fighting for food. There's going to be no fresh water.
So limited resources.
It's bad. Like,
so
there's no good side to it at all.
I shouldn't have looked at the timer because I want to say something right now.
You got your 5 minutes.
Fuck it. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Would we need a situation to happen, kind of like, hey, spoiler alert, Avengers Endgame or before Endgame, Infinity War? That I'm gonna use my 5.
All right. GaVinci Raw, a.k.a. Eli, is using his 5 minutes. So he cannot use his 5 minutes on any other topics.
For the rest of the show.
But we do get to continue discussing this one because this is a pretty good one.
It's a pretty good one. That we need kind of like a Thanos, per se, to come wipe out half of existence, more, human life, to actually start building. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say it's positive mass the mass destruction of humanity. I'm just saying it from this aspect of, like, hear me out, that if we were to get a little bit less, then we could build something more positive, like trying to actually fix the earth. Because let's say like all these bad people who are making this happen are now gone. Would we, the people who are trying to actually fix the earth and want to fix the earth and help make it to where our kids could still keep going on earth?
Yeah.
With something like that, like a mass catalytic, no, man, God, I can't even say the word. Like a mass incident, an epidemic happens on Earth to wipe out half the human race. Would that ultimately be the best thing for humans and the Earth?
Probably.
Yeah,
I mean, humans are like...
Because we're the ones destroying the Earth.
Exactly.
Let's be real.
Exactly. We're the ones that are fucking everything up, and... if you look at population charts between, like, for the world population between, like, say, like, let's go back all the way to like 1600 or something, all the way to now.
Yeah.
I think it was like in the 1900s there was a huge jump up of people, and because that's all the baby boomers and stuff like that. Like, people were just having kids left and right.
But I also think it's because of the advancement in science. Hey, science.
Yeah, people are living longer. Well.
It's because they have, I mean, the advancement in technology is now allowing us to actually get pills that help us with, not getting enough sun. The pills to help us with pissing correctly.
Yeah.
Pills for everything now to help fix the human body, kind of. Not shooting out the pharmaceutical, but that's another topic.
That's a different.
Different-
That's for a different day.
Different day. Believe me, it'll come
Yeah.
up.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. But like that, because then you go to like the 1600s, the Renaissance, those type of times where there was still like plagues and things that are just like destroying.
Oh yeah, I mean, people just died from the common flu back then.
Yeah, you know, you get a splinter and you're like, oh shit, I'm dead.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
you get hit by a rusty nail. Oh, you got tetanus.
yeah, that's it. It's over. You're done.
Yeah.
And at that time period, it was more or less like the strong can survive only, and so like people who were not strong were the ones phased out. And you know, it kind of makes you think like, do you think maybe something like that needs to happen again? Do you think maybe we need to have some type of outbreak or something to help cleanse what's going on? I mean, because don't get me wrong, I do not want my loved ones to die, you know, or something like that, or something of this massive negative thing to happen where all the good people die and all the bad people remain. You know, something like, it's like hard to figure out the balance of it. That's why like I used the Thanos thing kind of like an example because it was random.
Yeah.
So
like, I don't know. I mean, I guess in theory, having less people around would mean less pollution, which would mean like we use less resources. You know, we don't use gas as much, or if we, oh man, what are those? Like they call them like the Dark Ages or something.
yeah,
Like and
where the plague was rampant. And
No.
Oh,
There was
no.
a different one where it was like science like didn't move forward at all for like 100 years or something like that. Like if that never happened, maybe everybody would have electric cars or like watered powered cars now, and then we wouldn't have any pollution.
That's
But
true.
we're not there yet. But by the time we get there, it's going to be too late.
Yeah, because that was during the time period when the most brilliant art came out. That was when Da Vinci and hey, shout out Da Vinci, Da Vinci, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Raphael, etc., was making some of the most brilliant art known to man, still known to man. So it's like, if that didn't happen, that would never existed. But then at the same token, it's like, well, then what would you give? Like, you give that we could have been far more advanced and potentially actually be saving the earth right now?
Yeah.
Or do we say, no, that was needed to help pan out the more artistic side of the human world that may have not existed because that was never existent? You know, like, or would have there have been one that already existed that wasn't for us, like, you know, not having it. So we created this particular lane for it, you know? It's like, how do you look? How would you look at something like that? That's it.
Whoops.
That's it. Sorry, Mannche didn't get to finish that one.
All right. It's global warming. It's bad.
It's bad.
Let's stop it. I got 12 fucking years.
12 years.
12 years.
So if
Fix this.
so when this show hits the 12th year and we have to talk about it again, we're going to be real pissed off at you guys.
Yeah, exactly. If it's not fixed in 12 years, we're fucked.
Literal.
Literally. Not hypothetically, not like, oh, maybe we could get like 20 years out of it. No, it's like 12.
12. Done. Your kids. Your kids. That's it. Your kids are gone.
Yeah. They're not going to have a good world to live in.
Okay, we're going past topic.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
So my topic I want to talk about is, I'm actually going to run with the controversial one instead of my regular topic. Should we make weed legal throughout the United States?
Yes.
Okay, let's begin. 10 minutes. The reason why I put that under the controversial topic, because a lot of people feel that weed's negative or bad, is that if we are to make it legal across the board, it's going to put a lot of dispensaries out of business. Because, and I know you're kind of rolling your eyes, it's because Marlboro, Pall Mall, big cigarette companies, let's put it that way, will instantly make a joint pack. You could go to the store, you could go to Walgreens, CVS, one of those places, buy it for like $20-$30. Boom, pack of joints. You know, you smoke. And then, in which case, you would have to look at it like, well, dispensaries would be just more or less for higher grade or better grade marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The other thing, too, that I really 100% feel is that every single person out there, and I'm going to say this directly, every single person who's ever had a petty crime or anything associated with marijuana now should be 100% free. Their case should be 100% thrown out. Don't get me wrong. If you're talking like massive amounts of weight, okay, then we understand. But if it's like a petty crime for having like a gram on yourself or a little nug or something, and you got put away in prison for like an outrageous amount of time, or even a year, even a month, you should have all those records thrown out, and you should be 100% free. There's absolutely no reason for them to keep you in any type of capacity. And the reason why I say it's also a controversial subject, because right now California has made it legal, and yet there's still people behind bars for that exact subject, even though it's legal now.
Yep.
How is that possible? It's petty now.
Oh, yeah. So I think that weed should totally be legal. I think that...
Illegal?
No, I just think it should totally be legal.
Okay.
There's no reason why it should be illegal. It was made illegal back in...
Was it no, it was what, the
1980s?
Something
70s?
like
70s? Because...
I thought it was the 60s or 50s, something like that. That smear
earlier.
campaign.
Yeah, but it was like paper companies. People were like, "Oh, hey, we can just use marijuana to make hemp, and then we'll be good." It's easy.
It grows twice as fast. It's more durable.
Yeah, but then they were like, "Oh no, we can't do that. We're gonna lose our business." So then they were like, "Here, let's release all this like fake shit about marijuana, and then we'll make it illegal." And it's been that way, but obviously science has vastly improved since then.
Yes.
And we have disproven any I don't know, like arguments against weed for the sake that like it's safer than alcohol, and alcohol has been legal for I don't even know how long. Ain't nobody died off of smoking a joint except if it had like fentanyl in it, but that's a different discussion. But like ain't nobody smoking just cannabis, like pure cannabis, and they died. People have drank themselves to death. Easily,
yeah.
The only things getting killed when you're high is like a bag of Doritos or a burrito from Taco Bell. Like, that's it. That's the worst that's gonna happen.
Shout out to Taco Bell for sponsoring the set.
There's literally zero reason. There's a bunch of medicinal purposes for it as well. People with Parkinson's and cancer and neurological and like Tourette's and shit, like they take like they'll smoke or they'll take CBD or they'll take other stuff that comes from marijuana that helps them in their everyday lives. Like I've seen people with Parkinson's before, and they're shaking violently, and they can't control it. It's like a neurological thing. But as soon as they smoke a joint, they're chilling. They're totally fine. They're acting like a normal person. It's not to get them high. It's to get them
their body back to a normal state.
Exactly.
The brain can't fix it on its own. How do you feel about and I don't remember exactly what strand it is, or I know it's a CBD compound in marijuana that the actual U.S. government owns the patent for it. So, and the reason why I know this is true because I have spoken to dispensaries, and under legal U.S. law, they're not allowed to actually sell this type of CBD. In which case, from my understanding, this is the one that helps with the neural electricity, the patterns inside your brain. It helps with that. And from what I've been told by them, is that they purposely want this so that way they can actually market it as a medical area, and then they can control it 100%, because this is one of those ones that's actually going to be worth billions of dollars, probably trillions.
Exactly. That's the thing, is it all comes back to money, because I guarantee the government's probably pretty close on coming up with a cure for cancer, but it's a lot more profitable to just help people with their cancer and coast them through it and have them pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for treatment than paying, I don't know, even like $10,000 for a pill. And then you're like, okay, cancer's gone.
Voila.
It all comes back to money.
All back to money, which is like really, really bad that it's like that. So with it being legal all across the board, and then potentially allowing people to be free, which is something that needs to really happen for a lot of petty crimes that are just non-existent and or never should have happened. A lot of judges should have said and threw this out. it makes you go back to the question of, well, then why is it so petty? Why hasn't a lot of these cases been thrown out, period?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, why are these people been specifically selected to, like, you're going to jail, you're going to prison, you're going to blah, you have a humongous fine, and now you have a criminal record, despite it being like you never actually done anything that's real criminally related.
Yeah.
You didn't kill nobody, you didn't hurt nobody, you weren't even driving, you were just walking down the street, and the cops saw you and went and picked on you.
Exactly.
It's like, how do you look at it like that? Like, how is that fair? And especially these times with it being already somewhat legal throughout the United States.
Exactly. There's 5 states that have it.
Yeah, it's like
have it,
California, Colorado, Las Vegas, New York. Those are the ones.
Oregon or Washington?
One of them, and it's actually legal.
And it's recreational. Like, anybody can walk into a dispensary and be like, hey,
I want this.
I want,
2
grams of this. I want an ounce of that. You walk out, you go back to your house, and you get stoned, and that's easy.
No big deal. Boom.
Ain't nobody getting hurt over it.
Mm-mm. And, and in Arizona,
Arizona was close on the last bill that it was like, it was a close race. I think it was like 45 to 55%, like yes and no.
Yeah. But, okay. So I just thought of something while we were saying that. Don't get me wrong. I'm well aware that there's going to be people who are going to abuse it. That's obvious. That's with anything. We just said alcohol earlier, when someone's died because of driving alcohol drunk. What about all the opioids that I really don't want to get into? That's a different subject, but that are killing people regularly, and those are legal. So it's not really fair to sit there and like put a little stigma on that when clearly it's like that's not really a problem. Like I said, there's gonna be people who abuse it, but what about all those people who have medical conditions who really do need it? When you name off all those all clearly have been proven that it actually helps with that.
Absolutely.
Even cancer has been proven to be helped with when it comes to medicinal marijuana use. Medical marijuana, especially certain strands, literally are designed to help with that in your neurological brain and things of that nature, where it's like, why hasn't the medical more of the medical world accepted that this is actually a real thing? Do you need because they're part of the smear campaign too?
I don't think so. I think they're like, because I'm pretty sure all of the U.S. you can get a medical card. Like, you can get a medical card.
I think there's like 2 states still you can't even get a medical card.
Okay.
And I believe they're like the Midwest area.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Most states you can get a medical card.
Yes.
So like for the people that do need it for medicinal purposes, they can get it very easily and readily, and it's very accessible to them.
Yes.
But then I'm like, well, what's the difference between somebody smoking it? I mean, obviously there's a difference, but it's like I don't see how that translates to a crime where somebody's just like, hey, I just want to smoke a joint real quick
and relax
just relax and chill. Because like, when people do drug tests, THC stays in your body for, I don't know, like 2 weeks, a month, something around there.
Yeah.
So like if say you're smoking weed, but you have a job interview and they're drug testing you and then they find THC, you're like, okay, well, you're not getting that job. But it's like, oh, I have a medical card. And some people just like, people get like medical cards for illegitimate reasons all the time. I hear about people doing that. They'll walk into a doctor that is known for.
That is it. You want to use your 5?
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
5 is.
All right, I'm using my 5 minutes.
Jared Mannche has used his 5. Finally got him. Second episode.
Yep,
all right.
Second episode.
Let's do this.
Okay. So, like, people, even like people I've talked to around college, they'll just walk into a doctor that's known for handing out medical cards. And
college where kids are doing drugs? What place is this?
So it's like, they'll walk into a doctor and be like, hey, yo, I got insomnia. I need weed to help me fall asleep. And they're like, okay, here you go.
Here you go.
Here's your medical card.
Yeah. And I got chronic back pain. Oh, here you go. Here's your card.
Oh, yeah, here you go. Like, it's not difficult. And people see that. So why make that a process in the first place? I feel like it would just make things a lot smoother if you just made it legal.
Made it legal. and
make cigarettes illegal.
Yeah, because it's like how many people are dying from I'm sorry, I didn't even include that earlier. You're right.
Exactly.
Tobacco companies are making billions of dollars, probably trillions now, but billions of dollars off of humans' suffrage. And okay, don't get me wrong. I get it. We have the choice to smoke and not smoke. It's my choice to smoke, and it's your choice to smoke. But if it's one of those things where they have commercials constantly playing, they have celebrities who are doing it, they have this, they have that, where it's just like it's presently obvious that they're trying to kind of cram it down your throat a little bit. Why aren't these kids who are impressionable? Why, they're not going to sit there and be like, oh yeah, I shouldn't do that. Even if this person says, oh, you might die on it, but it's like, but look at all these cool people and look at these. Exactly. They don't have smear campaigns on tobacco, and the ones that they do, the truth. I mean, I heard rumors that company is actually owned by tobacco companies, and they actually have to put that out so that way the U.S., under constitutional law and things of that nature, that, otherwise it's monopolized. So it's kind of like this is their way of smearing it so that way they can still keep going because they're still going to make insane amounts of money.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, it's like, people, like I said earlier, nobody's died from smoking weed. For overdosing on weed. People die from lung cancer every single day from cigarettes. You see those commercials on TV where it's like survivors who are double amputees, or they have the hole in their throat that they have to they have to breathe through.
I think that's what's called a stofa.
A stofa?
Yeah, I believe that's.
Well, correct us in the comments section if we're wrong,
please.
But the holes in their throat, or they have horrible voices, or they're 30 years old, but they look like they're 60 because they smoke 2 packs a day, or their teeth are falling out, so they have to wear dentures at 30 years old. Like, their hair's falling out. Like, it's bad.
It's bad. Yeah.
It's just bad. So, like, why is that still legal for people to get, even though it's way more harmful than weed is?
Yeah. I mean, in every aspect, you have yet to see a real negative against it, especially comparatively what is legal. So it's like there's absolutely no reason to not make it legal at this point. So here's the thing I was going to throw at you. Let's say America makes it legal, but you have to be 18, 21, whatever.
Yeah. You have to be like 21. Let's say 21.
So
that's what it is in California.
So what about the kids who have, neurological issues or have, motion issues, and they can't control their body correctly, and a lot of those disabilities? What about them who actually need it? But especially right now in the present time, like if you have a medical marijuana card, you're legally unable to give it to a minor. Even if you are a parent, you can get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
So those kids who need it, even though medical cards are issued, most doctors won't actually do it to a minor because they feel like they could get sued for that or get a backlash on them. So a lot of them refuse to do it. What about those particular situations where it's obvious the kid needs it and it helps them tremendously, especially ones who go through seizures and, like neurological, like I said? What about them for those situations? So if we made it legal across the board, then maybe possibly we could have more doctors who are willing to prescribe it for younger, minors who actually obviously need it.
Yeah. And I saw, I think it was like a documentary or something, but it was like a mom and her son moved to Colorado before some other states had it legalized, where it was legal, and they didn't get like weed, like marijuana, like flower. They just got the
CBD
oils, and then give them a few drops on the tongue, and that helps them, because the THC part is what gets you high. The CBD part is the medicinal.
That's it.
All right, that's it. That's our
that one was a good one.
That's the weed talk.
That was the weed talk. We actually got going for that one. Actually, I felt strong about that. I even would like to keep going, but that's it, ladies and gentlemen. 15 minutes were up. So, Jarrett, you are up. What was?
All right. So, my topic. Oh man. So, my topic that I just want to talk about is anime.
Hey, anime.
Because I know we both like anime, and let's just talk about it.
Let's talk about it. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, 10 minutes is here. Let's begin.
All right. So, You know, obviously since I brought this up, I watch anime and I like anime, and I've watched a bunch of different shows. I've watched, you know, hundreds of episodes of a single show that just kept going, and I find it really, yeah, literally, and I find it very interesting. I find it very aesthetically pleasing, and I don't understand. So, because I've met people who are like, "Ew, you watch anime? Like that's so like weird and gross. Like, why would you do that?" Like,
Yeah, there's like a social stigma about it.
Yeah, they have like an image of like, you know, some like naked girl that's just running around with her tits out, just like, you know, that's like that's all anime.
Yeah,
which it's called hentai. It's not anime.
Yeah,
it's literally anime porn. It's called hentai. There's a difference.
Yeah, which funny is hentai in Japanese means perversion.
Mm-hmm.
So it literally is in the title. It's kind of, you know.
So like I when people say like, "Oh, you watch anime? That's so weird." But I'm like, "Well, do you watch like cartoons?" And they're like, "Well, yeah, I watch cartoons like, you know, Amazing World of Gumball or
Steven Universe
or
Adventure Time.
Adventure Time, stuff like that." Yeah, I watch cartoons. And I'm like, so anime is like Japanese cartoons. So what's the difference here?
Yeah.
What's the I'm trying to figure
what's
out
the actual stigma that's not allowing you to go into this world.
Yeah. Like, cuz most people that I've like spoken to about anime that I'm like, "Oh, hey, you should check this out. It's really cool. I think you'd like it." And some of people, you know, they just brush it off. They're like, "Oh, I'm not going to watch that. That's weird and I'm not going to do that."
Yeah.
But the people who do turn and watch it, and they're like, they come back to me. They're like, "Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Why haven't I seen this before? Why haven't I done this before?"
Yeah.
And then I like recommend them some other shows that I know of, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, like this is great. This is crazy. How did I never see this side? Like I only see, you know, all these people talking bad about it." But it's like that's the problem. Is like people just have such a bad like stereotype hanging around anime. It's like if you watch anime, you're this kind of person.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. There there are some people who take it way too far.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the type of people that me and Jared are the ones that appreciate it and follow the storyline. And that's the biggest thing. It's a lot of them have storylines, good storylines if you follow.
Yeah. And
don't get me wrong, they have the episodes where 1 through 5 won't exactly translate right away, so you got to watch 6, 7, 8, 9, etc. But that's what any show. That's just like literally watching a show on the CW. Hey, shout out CW. Or HBO, your Game of Thrones, your Rick and Morty. And then you watch Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
I've met so many people who watch Rick and Morty but refuse to watch anime. And I'm like, Rick and Morty is like this close to being anime.
Yeah, if it was drawn in a different style, it would be an anime.
And it'd be an anime. And that's seriously 100% true. If you don't believe us, go find an anime. It's just some random one. Hell, even if you don't get recommended once, just some random one. And do a comparative, a little comparison. It's relatively close. Don't get me wrong. Rick and Morty is a great show. Has incredible writing. It's without a doubt different, but that's like that boundary of it, because like if you compare it to like The Simpsons, even Family Guy, American Dad, those type of shows, those are more like just a humorous comedy that's kind of stupid. Don't get me wrong. Simpsons is a little bit more well thought out, which
the problem is with those shows is that they have a storyline for a episode. They don't have a continuous storyline spanning 100 episodes, which
I can understand why someone may be turned off from anime, because if you don't really have the time to watch a 30-minute show, which usually they are, like 22 minutes to 30 minutes, and it's 100 episodes just to get the resolution of, oh, this guy killed this guy. Which, I completely understand that, and I'm not going to hate on anyone or harp on anyone.
It's about the journey. It's not about the end goal. It's about the journey to get to there. And there's been times where I've like teared up at the end of anime, because like I'm not even gonna lie, at the end of Naruto, when they were doing the wedding at the last episode, I was fucking like tearing up because I was so sad that the show is ending. I mean, I remember watching it back when I was just a little kid. And it like touched my heart at some points where they'd have like a really good scene, or they have a really touching moment, or like a life lesson that you could take away from it. And that's the thing is like I don't know, it teaches you so much stuff.
There's people right now cheering you right now.
Yeah.
Keep going, Jared. Don't stop. Yeah, because my first real like introduction to anime, like real introduction, like I always watched anime as a kid. There was random shows I'd see like Guyver or those like really old Fist of the North Star, but those were I'd see here and there. It wasn't like, oh, I'm fully invested until I saw Dragon Ball Z. Shout out to Toonami. You know,
Toonami,
keeping it going.
They're still playing anime at dark.
After dark
today.
Was every Saturday night. I think it's Saturday night, or is it Sunday? No, it is Saturday night. But anyways, that was what really got me into like, oh my god, I love this shit. This is incredible. There's the storylines and how they build characters, and you get involved. I mean, the reason why I use Dragon Ball Z is a good example because that's what got me into it. But that's the most well-known anime like in America right now, per se. You know, it's changed now. It's Dragon Ball Super, but it's still Dragon. Everyone, you know, you mentioned to someone like
Dragon Ball.
It's still Dragon Ball, exactly. You go to someone and say, "Hey, do you know who Goku is?" A good likelihood is they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, that's a character from Dragon Ball Z," even if they don't watch anime.
Exactly, they know who it is.
They know who that is. They'll say, "Oh yeah, that's that one guy on that show who his hair becomes blonde." It's like, "Oh okay, you do know exactly what I'm talking about." So, a show like that can transcend it. Why is there still a stigma behind it? You know, it's like, because there's with any type of show, whether it's fictional, real, live shot, anime, cartoon, etc., there's always going to be shows that people consider really good and shows that are going to be really bad. So like that's what makes you think that maybe some people just found a show that just stunk, and they
they could have, and they could have just like, I don't know, carried that point over to every anime. They're just like, oh, every anime sucks.
Yeah, this is what it's like. Oh, okay, so clearly they're all like that, so you know, it's not for me.
But I mean, anime is such a wide. There's such a wide variety. There's ones that are like they're like love stories. There's ones that are based in like high schools. There's some that are based in like the future. They're based in the past. They have magic, or they don't, or they have superpowers, or they're extraterrestrial. You know, they interstellar is what I'm trying to say, is like they travel different planets and stuff. Like anything is possible in those shows. Or you have a superhero who can just one punch stuff, and you call him One Punch Man. Shout out to One Punch Man.
Shout out to
season
Satsuma.
2.
Sponsoring the show. Yeah, because that's the one thing. Like technology's only came so far, and then they don't have, you know, certain shows don't have millions and millions of dollars just to pour into the visual effects, and even then, it takes millions of dollars to pour into visual effects for one episode.
Yeah.
One. So like, if you have a show that's supposed to be this, like, what's to say like Superman? People know who Superman is, and even then, which is like, that's a fictional character that started in comics, so it's kind of like, you know,
anime sometimes starts in manga too, so
which is basically Japanese comics.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Same thing. But like that, the visual effects just to do that is going to cost absurd amount of money. Whereas if it was a cartoon, the cost gets cut in at least half, or if not more. Then there's sky's the limit. Your imagination, what you physically can draw, would be determination of what people are going to actually see. So it's like, you know, let's break this stigma about this genre that clearly is just not realistic. It's just like, I mean, I don't understand why so many people have gotten this idea about it. I mean, don't get me wrong, the like I said earlier, the fans, there's certain fans who just take it way too far.
Oh yeah, there's some extremists out there.
Yeah, some people who go as far as to say, yeah, that's a weirdo. There, and, you know, and then you have your casual fans who could give a shit less if a show cancels or doesn't even continue. You know, there's just like that little variable that's just like making it a little worse. But I've seen people who exaggerate on, all right, don't hate on me, but like shows like Grey's Anatomy, Friends, Seinfeld, you know, don't get me wrong, I like Seinfeld, those shows, but that's what I'm saying. Like, there's those extremes for that also. Oh, sorry, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
that's
That's it.
And we both used our 5 minutes, so we can't
You
can't extend this one.
can't extend this one. So if you're
Mhm.
screaming at the screen right now, I am sorry, but that's it. But
Hey, continue the conversation down in the comments, and we'll be looking at them. We'll reply to all the comments that you guys post. If you guys have any questions for us about, certain shows or
topics
or
Mhm.
or if you have any suggestions for us to talk
about in future
talk about.
episodes.
Exactly, we'll be replying to everybody, looking through and reading all of your comments. So, start a conversation in the bottom.
That's the whole point of the show. It's
Exactly.
talk. A show about talking. All right, so it's mine last one.
Yep.
In this case, the topic I want to talk about.
GaVinci Raw.
GaVinci Raw wants to talk about, should culture vultures be held accountable? So it's 10 minutes. Let's begin.
Culture vultures?
Culture vultures. People who basically manipulate a culture to either their profit, their gain, or to make themselves into this image that's not true to them. The most prime example as to why I had this is actually kind of boundary controversial, but the reason why I use this specific one is because the music entertainment and just entertainment in general is most notorious for being culture vultures, i.e. BET, which is owned by a white guy. I mean, no shout at you, Jared, because I know, but
fuck white people.
You heard it here first. But or like Popeye's Chicken is actually owned by a white lady. And the marketing ploy is that it's that black lady on the commercials. It's not her. She's just an actress.
Yeah.
And the music entertainment, there's countless people who created blues, soul, R&B, even like EDM, the hip hop. The list is huge. The original culture was predominantly ethnic. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of artists that I love that are, not ethnic. They're white, but there's also these ones who have been manipulated over the years, who never got the correct pay, never got the proper pay, who never even got the correct, the just implication that they were the ones who started it, at least. They don't get the credit that was due. I mean, at least if you gave them that, I mean, shit, at least they got that, but most of them don't. And the reason why I say it like this is because there's so many people who are in suits behind desks who have money to throw at these, and they're literally manipulating people's cultures to make beneficial to them, i.e. like modern days, like trap music. Like trap music was, trap originally was what happening was in the southern states of Atlanta, Miami, etc. And, Louisiana, New Orleans, etc. And it just kind of branched out into what we know it now. And those were predominantly black areas where this was happening. Mm-hmm. And then these people who are culture vultures saw that, if I can market this culture to these people, we can make billions of dollars. Let's do it. So my question is, should these people be held accountable for it? Because I've had people, I've asked people this and they said no. And I'm like, why? And they're like, because everyone does it. And I'm like, well, then there's a fine line of what is punishable by this and why should they be punished? Because it's like nothing's going to happen to them. So why punish them? But then I'm like, but it's like, it's an issue on a social level that people are just not entertaining, or not even entertaining, but just not even seeing. Because it's like, as long as I get what I want and I don't give a shit. So it's like, well, how is that going to fix the problem ultimately?
Well, I mean,
because then it also creates the issue of you're almost talking segregation.
Well, you're I don't know. I don't think you could ever put a stop to it per se. Well, one of the most recent cases that I can think of is when Miley Cyrus did, she cut all her hair and she was started rapping and stuff like that, and doing stuff like that. They were like, oh, she's just trying to be black and she just wants to be part of that culture. And then she got publicity for it, and then now she's Now she's like, back to how she was after she got famous, or after
Or famouser.
famouser,
Yeah.
or more publicity after those whole like all those songs and everything. Don't get me wrong, some of those songs slap. Like,
Yeah, no, yeah, they're
fucks with them.
they're bangers, they're club bangers, and they get your
yeah.
ass shaking, and they do what they're supposed to do.
Exactly, but I do think that I don't. But I mean, I also don't think that it was. It was
'Cause-
wrong of her to do, in the sense that any artist can do any type of music.
Yeah, because it's an artistic expression.
Just because you're more familiar with, say, a group of ethnic people doing rap or doing hip hop, like, back in the day it was like 50 Cent and Eazy-E and Ice Cube and like NWA or
Don't be mad at us, Fatih, please.
yeah. Or Dr. Dre, people like that. Everybody, Tupac, Biggie, like a bunch of like
Yeah.
ethnic people that were rappers that were really good. But then you got like
Shout out third base.
yeah. But then you got like Eminem came along. Here's this white guy from the suburbs, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna do rap too." But everybody was like, you can't, that's a black thing. But it's also like, it's not really a black thing, it's just rap. Like, he can do what he wants.
Yeah.
So I think I think there's just a huge, it's just a topic that has such a large gray area with no
Real
sign.
definitive
Exactly.
yes or no.
Yeah, there's not like, yes, this is okay, or no, this is not okay. It's like, to some people it's okay,
Uh-huh.
to the other people it's not okay.
Well, because like to me, the reason why I don't think it's okay to an extent is that there's people who are willing to manipulate a culture until it dies, as long as they get profitable gain. In which case, what I mean is like they'll manipulate it and keep twisting it until it's like no longer profitable. So it's like the popularity of it's now gone because I just twisted the shit out of it so much so that's like, oh, I don't want nothing to do with that, and then now it's gone.
It's like oversaturated.
Exactly, because we could go back in history and like blues still exists, but it's essentially dead. It's not very profitable. Soul's basically non-existent now, and I know people are going to be like, what about the weekend? Go listen to soul. If you like the jazz era, jazz basically doesn't exist. It does, but it's to a very small scale. It's basically non-existent. You go to like funk or disco or you're going to get really mad at me for saying this, but rock doesn't really exist no more the way it did.
Yeah.
So because those were all twisted and manipulated till it's just not profitable anymore from these people who wear these suits and all these other things. And I could say that with entertainment also. I mean, like, how many times shows have been revamped, rewashed, re-this, re-that, just to get more profit out of it. And I hate using this as an example because I used to love the show back as a kid, and I loved their specific seasons that I still love. But The Simpsons is a prime example of how many times you could keep a mindless zombie going to keep making profit because you just keep twisting that knob. And yeah, the show should have been canceled, 10 years ago?
Yeah, probably.
But
ain't nobody watching it anymore.
No, so
nobody's sitting down like, oh shit.
I can't wait to see. Yeah, I can't wait to go see that. But it still exists, and so it's like, okay, so they had to have a market. It wouldn't, Fox Entertainment would not keep it going unless there's some type of market behind it.
Yeah,
especially when you have your Rick and Morty's and shows like that. They're out right now. They are actually more profitable and people do like. But that's what I mean. Like there's everything comes to an end. That's what I learned. I learned the hard way a few times. Shout out to those people who know. But there is a fine line of like, you're just beating a dead horse at this point. Just let it be done and move on to the next best and better things. Matter of fact, be the person who's the one who created that next bigger, best thing. I.e., and I hate using this one as an example because I already said it like 8 times, is Rick and Morty. That's a newer show that's like blowing up because people love it. The writing's brilliant and everything about it is cohesively well thought out. And same could be said, unfortunately, for music. Is that what it is too? That maybe it's just not profitable anymore because people just got sick of it because it was oversaturation, or is it just because it was old now?
Well, I do think, because like I still listen to like metal, like AC/DC,
Okay.
or
Kiss or one of
or
them.
Kiss, or Black Sabbath, or Judas Priest, Slayer, people like that. And I still enjoy their songs, and I do enjoy new metal as well, or I enjoy old rap, and I enjoy new rap. I think it's like there's just trends.
Yes.
There's just trends, and when a trend is on the rise, people are like jumping on it. It's like the bandwagon. It's like the Super Bowl. Like it's like when your team isn't in the Final Four in the regional championships, you're gonna jump on whichever team you want, or the majority is gonna jump on.
Yeah.
Or some people go for the underdog. Like every past 3 or 4 Super Bowls with the Patriots, everybody votes for the other team to win because nobody wants the Patriots to win.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. We'll see the Patriots in 5 years from now when this show, someone happens to stumble across it and says, "Hey, Tom Brady's still." It's like, no.
Okay, wait. Let's do. Okay, I wanna try something here. Just do like a closing thought after it.
A closing thought.
Yeah. So we don't like just leave it
hanging
like that. Like closing thought. So
old mozzarella just hanging out there.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't
So
need my spaghetti falling out of my pocket. I want it all wrapped up nice and neat.
Gotta keep your meatballs where you need them.
Mm.
For everything we discussed, or just the last topic.
Let's do everything we discussed. Like I'm talking like go back over and be like, okay, this topic, this is what we kind of decided on.
Okay, so our consensus, my consensus on global warming is it is happening, and we need to fix it.
Yep.
We need to fix it now.
That's what okay.
ASAP.
Yeah, I agree with that. You got to remember 12 years. I've said it a bunch of times, but 12 years, that's what we got to work with.
Stick it in your brain. Make it happen.
Yeah.
Okay,
so you said marijuana.
legalizing it throughout the United States.
Exactly. And I think it should be illegal because I don't see anything wrong with it that would make it illegal. And
yeah, I absolutely think they should be legal. There's no reason for it not to be.
There's a lot more dangerous things that are legal.
Absolutely. Opiates. That's all I got to say. Do your research. You'll be amazed. The other one was anime. I think that the stigma needs to be lifted and people should give it a try.
Yeah.
Hell, give it a try. And if you found something that you never thought you would find otherwise, comment below. Let us know. Hey, thanks to you guys, I found this show, or I found this show. Let us know.
Exactly.
Let's talk about it. So like, subscribe.
Exactly. I feel the same way. Anime is great, and it really is. It really just kind of pulls you along on this like amazing journey, and you feel like you get to know the characters because there's so much development, and you learn like life lessons and shit. Like, it's cool. I saw like a little kid wearing a Midoriya sweatshirt, a hoodie.
Really?
It's like a little like 10-year-old like dude just walking around at our work with one.
Wow, that's cool.
And I was like, I bet he's never watched an anime before in his life, but
Never.
that might be his first one, and he liked it enough to get merchandise. And I was like, see, that's cool. Like, he gave it a shot. He liked it. Why can't you do the same?
Yep.
Okay. And then you said culture vultures. If they should be punished.
Yeah.
And
the general consensus.
Shoot, I don't.
The way you said it was most appropriate. It's such a gray area. It's hard to say yes or no.
Because I don't want to punish anybody for wanting to do rap, because two of our friends want to be rappers.
Yeah.
And they're both white.
Yeah. I'm Latin, so I know I'm not really quite included in that.
Yeah,
but regardless, it's still.
I'm not gonna be like, oh, you can't do that. It's a black thing.
Yeah, because I could be excluded in it. That's what I mean. Because the problem is that it creates segregation in it in a way too. So, but my biggest problem with it was just the corporations taking advantage of situations of people, and manipulating it to their benefit. But then it's hard to say that you can or can't punish them, because otherwise you're taking it away, and maybe taking away the next Eminem or the next.
Exactly.
Insert brilliant mind here. Your next John Singleton, or your next your next Steven Spielberg, your next
Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury. You know, the list is huge. Just, I get it, and I understand it. Even though there's an evil there, that sometimes you need the evil to see the good. So I mean, I get it.
And some of the
there's a cycle in it.
Some of the best things come out of that oversaturation. So that's why I'm saying it's like it's very, very hard. But when you say, like, when I said trends earlier, like there's trends with clothing. Skinny jeans weren't always in, but now they are. But everybody wears skinny jeans now. So then it's like, well, what's the next trend going to be? Are bell bottoms going to come back in? Or
exactly.
Are what was it called? Jenkums?
Oh yeah.
Jenkums. Is that going to be the next big trend? Like, we don't know.
We don't know. It's hard to tell. So that's the wrap up of the end conversation. The one thing I do want to say that we didn't say in the beginning is huge shout out to the ladies out there. Happy Mother's Day to all the single ladies out there. All the women who, honestly, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't even be here even doing this show. So
I wouldn't be here. That's for damn sure.
Damn sure. So thank you so much for all the mothers out there, all the moms who are actually not really moms, but actually doing what moms need to do sometimes to take care of their kids and or take care of someone else's kids. So thank you so much for all the mothers out there, and happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there.
Absolutely. So
so that's the episode, guys.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen.
Episode 2's done. I think we ran probably a little bit longer. It feels a little bit longer than the first episode. A little bit. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Keep the conversation going in the bottom if you have anything you want to add on to our topics, or like I said earlier, if you want to suggest something for us to talk about or correct us if we said anything wrong, please do that. Like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you never miss one of our videos. Check out our Twitter. It's at 2CouchTalk. We'll be posting behind the scenes footage of us getting ready, our set, which isn't really a set, but
it's a set.
It's a set. Our Instagram is also at 2CouchTalk. And just hope to see you guys in the third episode.
Absolutely.
We'll be back next week.
You know what? While we're here, Mannche, where can they find you at?
All right. So they can find me at Jared Mannche, JaredMannche on Twitter. I'm also on PlayStation. If you guys want to play some Fortnite or some Rocket League or something, just Mannche, Mannche on PlayStation. You guys hit me up and
let's talk it up. So with me, GaVinci Raw. So it's GaVinci Raw, RAW, all one word, at Instagram. And on YouTube, same thing. You can look it up through that way. Without a doubt, please subscribe, and without a doubt, comment. We talk. Which the whole point of the show is to talk.
Yep.
And do not be afraid to bring up your voice. That's the most important thing. So with that being said, you guys have yourself a great night. We'll see you on episode 3.
Yep. See you episode 3, guys. Peace.